Young, and the Restless. Spoilers full. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It is a crazy Tuesday here, and I am running on fumes and way too much iced coffee. But we have to talk about the absolute mess going on in Genoa City right now. I mean, I am so tired, but I just can't look away from this train wreck of a storyline. So grab a snack and let's dive right into the madness, because the Newman family is officially falling apart at the seams. And honestly, where do we even begin with this absolute disaster of a situation? Let's just start with the biggest bombshell that just dropped on us. Christian is back. Yes, little Christian Newman has returned to Genoa City for the summer. And you guys, he is not so little anymore. We all know how soap operas work, right? The classic soap opera rapid aging syndrome, or SORAS as we call it. One minute they are playing with blocks in the living room, and the next minute they are full-grown teenagers with more emotional baggage than most adults. And that is exactly what has happened here. Christian has grown up. He is a young man now, and he is back for his summer vacation, completely excited to see the Newman family. But man, his timing could not possibly be any worse. I mean, what a terrible time to come home for a family reunion. So Christian arrives, and he is all smiles and excitement, looking for his family, looking for the people he loves, but mostly he is looking for Nick. He keeps asking everyone, "Where is Nick? Where is my dad hiding?" And you can just feel the awkward, suffocating silence in the room every single time he asks, because nobody wants to tell this kid the truth. Nobody wants to be the one to look him in the eye and say that the man who raised him, the golden boy of the Newman family, is currently completely off the rails. But here is the thing that really gets me, and maybe I am being too dramatic, but you get what I mean. Christian already knows. He is not a clueless kid anymore. He understands everything that is going on. He knows about the drugs. He knows about the addiction. And that just breaks my heart into a million tiny pieces. Imagine being that young and knowing that your dad is hiding somewhere, spiraling out of control on fentanyl and whatever else he can get his hands on. Christian knows that Nick checked out of rehab. He knows his dad is in trouble. And instead of running away from it, this brave, naive, heartbroken kid wants to go find him. He wants to meet his dad to stop him. He actually believes that if he just talks to Nick, if Nick just sees him, it will be enough to snap him out of this dark hole. And let's be real here for a second. That is the tragedy of loving an addict, isn't it? You always think that your love is going to be the magic cure. Christian thinks he can just walk into whatever dingy motel room Nick is hiding in, look at him, and say, "Dad, please stop," and Nick will magically throw the pills away and come home. But we know that is not how addiction works. We know Nick is currently at rock bottom, sharing a motel room with Marie Kirkland, doing drugs, sleeping with an enabler, and hallucinating about Matt Clark. Nick is not in a place where he can be saved by a hug from his son. Nick is in a place where seeing his son might actually push him further over the edge out of sheer shame and guilt. So someone has to stop Christian. Someone has to step in and be the bad guy to protect this kid from seeing something that will traumatize him for the rest of his life. And who is the one to do it? Adam. Of course it is Adam, because the writers just love to torture Adam, don't they? Adam steps in and flat out refuses to let Christian see Nick. He puts his foot down, and honestly, for once in his chaotic, messy life, Adam is doing the absolute right thing. I know some fans on social media are probably going to drag Adam for this, saying he is overstepping, saying he has no right to keep a son away from his father. But what were they thinking? Would it really be better to let Christian walk into a filthy motel room and see Nick high out of his mind? You see Nick passed out or acting erratic? No. Adam is actually protecting his brother's dignity, and more importantly, he is protecting this boy's innocence, or whatever is left of it anyway. But Christian does not see it that way, not at all. And this leads to one of the most fierce, explosive, heartbreaking arguments we have seen on this show in a long time. Christian and Adam go head to head, and it is just brutal to watch. You have this angry, desperate, terrified kid screaming at Adam, demanding to know where Nick is. And you have Adam standing there, taking all of this anger, trying to stay calm, trying to be the adult in the room. But you can see the pain in Adam's eyes. You can see how much it hurts him to be the villain in Christian's story. And then comes the dagger, the absolute worst thing Christian could possibly say, because during this massive screaming match, Christian makes it very, very clear that he still does not accept Adam as his father. He throws it right in Adam's face. You're not my dad. Nick is my dad. Ouch. I mean, wow. Just wow. Let's just pause and unpack that for a second, because that is a wound that goes so deep in the Newman family history. We all remember the history, right? A few years ago, the whole Sage and Nick and Adam triangle, the custody battles, the paternity reveals. Adam is Christian's biological father. That is a biological fact, but Adam gave him up. Adam stepped aside and let Nick raise him because he thought Nick could give him a better, more stable life. Adam made the ultimate sacrifice as a parent, breaking his own heart so his son could be safe and happy with the good brother. And now, look at where we are now. The good brother is in a motel doing fentanyl with a random woman named Marie, completely abandoning his responsibilities. And the bad brother, the black sheep, the former villain Adam, is the one standing in the doorway, taking the emotional abuse from his biological son just to keep that boy safe. The irony is just staggering. It is so perfectly, painfully soap opera. I just keep thinking about what must be going through Adam's head during that argument. He is looking at this boy, his own flesh and blood, a boy he loves from a distance, and he is hearing this kid reject him all over again. It has to trigger every single one of Adam's own abandonment issues. Adam grew up feeling rejected by Victor. He grew up feeling like he wasn't a real Newman, like he wasn't good enough. And now his own biological son is screaming at him, telling him he isn't his real dad. It is a generational cycle of trauma just playing out right there in the living room. Maybe I'm being too harsh on Christian. He is just a scared kid, but man, those words cut deep. And, Adam can't even defend himself properly. What is he supposed to say? I am your dad. And by the way, the guy you think is your dad is currently a junkie hiding in a motel. He can't say that. He has to swallow the insult. He has to let Christian hate him, because if Christian hates Adam, at least he is safe. At least he is not out on the streets of Genoa City looking for a drug dealer or knocking on motel doors trying to find Nick. Adam is absorbing all of Christian's pain and anger, so Nick doesn't have to. It is actually incredibly selfless, which is not a word we usually use to describe Adam Newman. But you guys, how long can Adam actually keep this up? Christian is older now. He is resourceful. If he wants to find Nick, he is probably going to find a way. What happens if Christian steals a car? What happens if he tracks Nick's phone? The fans on social media are already theorizing that Christian is going to sneak out and end up in a highly dangerous situation, because let's remember, Matt Clark is still out there. Matt Clark is still pulling strings and messing with Nick's head. What if Matt finds out that Christian is looking for Nick? Matt would absolutely use Christian as a pawn. He would lure that kid right into a trap just to watch Nick suffer. The stakes are so incredibly high right now. And what about Victor and Nikki in all of this? I mean, seriously, what is going on with the head of the Newman family? They are busy planning a romantic trip to Venice and organizing a vow renewal ceremony while their family is literally burning to the ground around them. Nikki is putting on this brave face, smiling at parties, pretending everything is fine, while her son is missing and doing drugs. And Victor is busy plotting revenge against Phyllis and trying to manipulate everybody's business deals. Do they even know that Christian and Adam are having a massive blowout argument? Do they even care? It just feels like the disconnect in that family is bigger than ever. They are all living in their own little bubbles of denial. I honestly don't know how this is going to end well. Who actually believes this is going to end well? Nick is so far gone. He is hallucinating. He is traumatized. He is leaning on Marie Kirkland, who is clearly just dragging him further down into the mud. If Christian somehow manages to bypass Adam and actually finds Nick, it is going to be a disaster. Imagine the psychological damage it will do to Christian to see his hero, his dad, in that state. And imagine what it will do to Nick. Nick already hates himself. Nick already feels like a failure. If he sees the disappointment and fear in Christian's eyes, it might be the thing that finally pushes Nick to do something completely irreversible. And then you have to factor in Chelsea. Adam and Chelsea just had this really heavy, intense conversation about their toxic past and their unresolved feelings. They are trying to figure out if they have a future together. But now Adam is dealing with this massive emotional crisis with Christian. How is that going to affect Adam's mental state? We know Adam has a tendency to spiral when he feels rejected. If Christian's rejection hurts him too much, will Adam push Chelsea away? Will he go back to his dark, manipulative ways? Or will he lean on Chelsea for support? Chelsea knows what it is like to struggle with parenting and dark pasts. Maybe she can help Adam navigate this. But then again, this is Genoa City, so they will probably just end up lying to each other and making it worse. So, yeah, the tension is just off the charts. Every single scene with Christian and Adam right now is just crackling with this heavy, unresolved grief. You have a boy who just wants his dad to be okay, and a biological father who just wants his son to be safe, but they are completely incapable of communicating that to each other without tearing each other apart. It is frustrating, it is exhausting, but it is also really, really good television. I just hope the writers don't rush this. I hope they really let this storyline breathe. We need to see the fallout of this argument. We need to see Adam sitting alone in a room processing the fact that his son hates him. We need to see Christian crying out of frustration because he feels so powerless. And we eventually, desperately, need to see Nick get sober and realize the damage he is causing to the people who love him the most. But for now, we are just stuck in the messy, chaotic middle of it all. Adam is playing the gatekeeper. Christian is playing the rebellious teenager on a mission, and Nick is lost in a haze of drugs and regret. It is a dark time for the Newmans, and honestly, I am here for it, even if it makes me want to pull my hair out sometimes. Okay, that sounded a bit dramatic, but you know exactly what I mean if you have been watching this show as long as I have. You get invested, you care about these characters, even when they are making the dumbest possible choices. All right, I'm going to wrap this up before I start rambling in circles again. I need to go process all of this and maybe get some sleep before the next episode drops. Let me know what you guys think about this whole Christian and Adam situation. Are you Team Adam for keeping him away? Or do you think Christian has a right to see Nick, no matter how bad it is? Drop your thoughts, and I will see you guys next time with more updates. Stay strong, soap fans. We are going to need it to get through this summer in Genoa City.